I threw it up on the socials already, so we're good there. Bump that guy up there. Let's hit some music. We should be streaming live right now. If anybody's out there, they could see just my beautiful face today. But let's do some dancing and get this thing kicked off. It's good to be back, yeah. Back again.
So good.
Back with my friends. My friend, Mr. David Hastings. See if we get anybody else to join us tonight. But right now, it's just my good buddy, my longtime co-host, Mr. David Hastings. How you doing tonight, my friend?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Definitely getting teased with some of that spring weather, and still sick and tired of fucking sinkholes. Other than that, doing good.
Yeah. Was there any update on that? Any update on the sinkholes?
They're saying 2 lanes on the eastbound side should be opened in about 7, and 2 lanes on the westbound side should open up shortly after that. So This is without a doubt going past Memorial Day.
Oh, yeah. And I would expect delays past that because, again, the weather, whatever. Yeah, I would say you're looking at, hopefully by July 4th.
Yeah, I get the feeling my daughter is going to be here right around the same time they get this all said and done.
But maybe that'd be a good thing. Could be a good thing. At least it gets settled by then. It might be a little easier to travel, so makes the commute a little bit better.
I mean, once she's here, I get 3 weeks without having to go to work, so that sounds just like the right time for them to open up the roadway.
Yeah. You should get more than 3 weeks. I got to be honest. As a man, I know most women, they get 12, but guys, you really should get at least 6 weeks. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just the way I feel. I know every company's different. There are some companies out there that are better, others that are worse. Not trying to put down any company whatsoever. But just overall, I feel like there should be some kind of standard rule. Yes, I get it. The mothers may get a little bit longer. That's fine. But I don't know. I feel like there should be some kind of you get at least 6 weeks.
So I do actually get 6 weeks.
Okay.
But I'm splitting it up. I'm doing 3 weeks in July, and then I'm going to do 3 weeks in January because we can't get her in daycare until February.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah,
well, then you got a game plan. So at least you're using it. Okay. All right.
Oh yeah. No freaking way. I'm not using all 6 weeks. And I figure the fun part about waiting till January is by that point she'll be about 6 months old, so it should be even more fun than a newborn.
Yeah. Listen, I know just for my nephew, a great age is up until about the time they start to walk. Because once they're walking, they're running, and once they're running, they don't stop. So
yeah, the limitless amount of energy is definitely something I'm a little nervous about, but we'll figure it all out.
Right. Well, speaking of figuring it out, nobody figured it out, and nobody has a perfect bracket. I know that's not necessarily college music right there, but nobody had it figured out, but they should have, because this year, one of the easiest years to pick. All the number 1 seeds. If you had all the number 1 seeds, well, then guess what? You would have been the only person on the planet. Nobody had it. And to me, that kind of blows my mind. And that's where I want to start, is to think that not one person out there filled out a bracket with all 4 number 1 seeds making it to the Final Four. I want to, or I shouldn't say that, because even without a perfect bracket, you could still have that Final Four. I wonder how many people out there have that Final Four, is what I should say. So I don't think it's a lot. It's only the second time in history it's happened.
Well, I think that's why not many people have it, right? The NCAA tournament always throws curveballs at you, always kind of throws you off with something. We talked about it last week, right? There was really no Cinderella team this year. For the most part, I mean, in the first round, you had a couple lower seeds, win. And
12 was the biggest upset. A 12-5, I think it was the biggest upset we had. We had 2 of them this year. But 12-5 was the biggest.
So, I mean, to me, what it tells you is that the people that put the brackets together, they got it right. When it's all said and done, you're giving the 1 seed in the tournament or in your, division or, region, I believe is the word they use, because you're considered one of the 4 best teams in college basketball. Well, they picked 4 of them, and all 4 of them prove that they are one of the 4 best teams in college basketball. So I think it's pretty badass. I know there's no way I would ever pick a bracket and put all 4 number 1 seeds in the Final Four, because it just, like you said, right? It's only happened one time before in the tournament.
In 2008, I'll give you credit. Let me ask you: can you name the 4 teams from 2008 without looking it up? I have it in front of me, so I can't say I didn't look it up. I have the answer.
Is UNC one of them?
Yes.
Is Gonzaga one of them?
No.
All right.
2 other big schools, though. I'll give you a hint. There are 2 other big colleges there that I think that you can get.
Kentucky?
Nope.
Kansas.
You got it. That's 2. So you got North Carolina and Kansas.
So I got 2 strikes, so 1 more wrong, and you'll fill in the rest for us.
You got it. You got it. So I'm good with that, but give me one. It's a historically good school. I'll give you a hint. It's a historically good school.
Would it be...
You want one more hint?
Duke?
I'll give you a hint. It's West Coast.
UCLA.
You got it. So you got Kansas, North Carolina, UCLA, and just take a shot in the dark. It's a smaller school. You've heard of them, and I'll give you one hint. I believe it's where Derrick Rose went.
Memphis.
Yep, that's it. Kansas, Memphis, North Carolina, UCLA.
Because I think 2008 was Rose's only year in college.
It might have been.
I think that was his only year in college, and it was between him and Michael Beasley as the number 1 picks in the draft. And I really, but that's why I said Kansas, because I remember the blue and white uniform, and when he said I was wrong, I was like, wait, I got the wrong school for Derrick Rose.
Yep, yeah, because Memphis is blue and white. Yep, yeah. So that's it. No, but you nailed it. So listen, I give you props. You did pretty damn well on that for a guy who claims he doesn't know much college basketball. You did that pretty swiftly. I'll be honest. You really nailed that, my friend. So
yeah, when I got the third big school wrong, and I went with Duke, I didn't want to go with Duke just simply due to the fact that I very rarely, if ever, have they ever put 2 teams from the same conference as 1 seeds.
Yeah. Very rare.
That's some ESPN stats and info shit, but I guarantee it's maybe like 1% of the time of the tournament it's ever happened.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, like you said, maybe a couple times where there was Duke, North Carolina or something like that, but probably not often. But, speaking of all number 1 seeds, though, that's the other surprising thing is normally you might expect that from the women's side. No, not this time. The women have 3 number 1 seeds and 1 number 2 seed. Can you guess who that number 2 seed is, Dave?
I saw the Final Four is Texas, UConn. Is Texas the 2 seed?
It is not the 2 seed.
Oh, okay.
So there's UCLA, UConn, South Carolina, Texas. 3 of them are 1 seeds. Pick the 2 seed.
It's definitely not UConn. South Carolina?
No, sir. You have 50-50 chance here on the last guess.
It can't be UConn.
It's UConn. I'm just going to give it to you. UConn is the 2 seed. UCLA is a 1. South Carolina is a 1. Texas is a 1. UConn, they should just be a pseudo 1. Like, it should just always be a 1 seed, in my opinion, almost, It was like back in the days with Tennessee and Pat Summitt. Like, they should just always just been a 1 seed, in my opinion. But, Yeah, it's UConn as the 2 seed, and to me, I think they're the favorite. They've got the pedigree, they've got the coaching, and not to turn any of these other girls down or look down on them because I'm sure they're phenomenal. But give me UConn because I think that they're poised for another one. Let's go, Gino.
I mean, with what Gino REM has done throughout his entire career, I mean,
I think it was 30 years
college,
ago they won UConn won their first. 30 years ago.
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, what he does, his recruiting abilities, the development of the women that he brings in. I mean, the compliments are endless for what you could say about Gino. There's no other way for me to say it.
No, and listen, not only Gino, but I mean the team in general, they're just a solid team. I mean, they went 35-3 this year. Not like they had a down year, even as a 2 seed. But I mean, yeah, they're too damn good. They really are. I mean, Paige Buchers are. I'm not sure if I'm even pronouncing that right, but she's probably going to be one of the top picks in the WNBA draft, if not the top pick, probably in the draft this year, leading the way. And I look at this team, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not picking against UConn, and not in the Final Four, and not with this coach and this team. So I'm taking UConn to win it all from the women's side. I'll be honest with you. I don't know what you're feeling, or if you got any thoughts on the women's side, but I'm going to state it because we always state it. Nobody talks more women's women's basketball than we do.
I mean, to me, it's UConn or South Carolina.
That could be your final too. I mean, that could be the championship.
Yeah, South Carolina's been a problem for better part of a decade at this point. They got a really good program out there.
Oh, excellent. Absolutely excellent program. And yeah, couldn't agree with you more. Unfortunately, I know I hate to agree with you all to, keep agreeing with you on everything, but you're spot on. They're probably the 2 teams running head to head with each other in the finals. And yeah, I didn't even realize the finals of that is down here. So it's actually going to be while I'm down here in Tampa. So I mean, I'm down in the Tampa area, I should say. But yeah, so just
they were playing in Newark this past weekend, the men's.
Yeah, the men's. I did see that. Which is awesome.
No,
I mean, listen, I like, the Prudential Center. I like, them playing in Newark. I don't know. I like that arena. I think it's a nice little arena.
Hey, my dad helped build that arena, so I love it.
Right? Well, we'll jump back over to the men's side real quick. You got any thoughts? Speaking of 2 number 1 seeds from the same conference, we did have one this year with Auburn and Florida, both from the SEC. Again, SEC, you'd think football. And instead, they got 2 out of the Final Four. They had 14 teams make it into the tournament. They had 7 teams make it to the Sweet 16, and now have had 2 make it to the Final Four, with one of them guaranteed to be in the championship. Who do you like? Because I mean, Florida's a team that they've been kind of consistently good for a while, ever since Billy Donovan. They've been a pretty good ball club, but Auburn's been coming on too. So I mean, I think a lot of people are picking Auburn. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that game, but just to go back, because I ended up seeing it, this is one of those years where you got 2 from the same conference as 1 seeds.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic that I didn't even think about that while we were talking about it. But, so I would lean Auburn, and mainly just due to the fact that I think Auburn's just having a special season, and it's hard to, when you're good enough to get a 1 seed and your season's special, sometimes the stars align, and this could be that year for Auburn.
Interesting.
I mean, I had St. Joe's beating Alabama, so I did have an SEC team in the championship game.
You did. I did not. But you did, and not the one you picked, but we're gonna get one there anyway. But good to see we have a little difference of opinion there. I'm going Florida. You're going Auburn. Any thoughts on Duke Houston? I'm gonna go with Duke. Cooper Flag is just seems like he's kind of taking over as far as the storyline of the tournament, and yeah, I got to think that one of those SEC teams is going to end up running into Duke in the finals. I don't know what you think, but them making a run like this, to me, it does make me sit there and go, all right, well, then Mike Krzyzewski did set them up for success. However it happened, it worked out, and they're still a good program even after he's gone. But yeah, I don't know if this is still some of that Krzyzewski magic rubbing off on Duke, that it just hasn't worn off yet. I don't know what your thoughts are on Duke, but I'm surprised that they've still been this good after losing a legendary coach. But yeah, I don't know. You got any thoughts?
My first thought is I hate Duke.
You're a North Carolina guy, so
yeah,
understand.
UNC all day, every day. But with that said, I think Duke's been the best looking team in the tournament. I mean, their average win right now is 8-0. I think it's over 18 points a game right now. So they're not playing in tight games. They've played some good competition, and they're still blowing them the hell out of the water.
Oh yeah.
So when you're doing that, it's hard to debate that you're the best team. Now, we all know sometimes the best team doesn't always win. Sometimes the shots aren't falling. You know, all you need is some freak random injury to happen. And, you know, they remember in the ACC tournament, Flag got hurt, and they kept him out specifically for the NCAA. And here they are, riding arguably the best player in college basketball. I just don't see how a team is going to be able to take them out. They're deep, and basketball is one of the few games where if you have the best player in the game between the two teams, the odds are in your favor that you're going to win. Very few sports where one guy can truly take over and dictate how a game unfolds, and he's one of those guys for college basketball, and he's earning himself a lot of money as he plays.
Oh yeah, a lot of money. And yeah, I mean, I can't go this far. Maybe you can, but I mean, I heard people out there such as like Stephen A. Smith possibly pontificating that he is the greatest white prospect since Larry Bird. And I don't know. I don't know how, like, in my head, I can't make that comparison. To me, Larry Bird was just an all-time great top 10 scorer, could do everything. Like, you know, he was a special player. And I'm not saying Cooper Flag isn't. I'm not saying he can't get there. But I think that is an unfair comparison for a kid that, you know, yeah, looks special. But, I mean, we don't know what he's going to be on the next level. We don't know what he's going, like, we think, you know, that he could do well on the next level. But I don't know. Do you take that step? Do you take that leap? Do you think he is the greatest white prospect since Larry Bird?
Not for a second. And the reason I say that,
I can't think of anybody else who's ever even had that comparison off the top of my head.
Yeah. And the main reason I actually make that statement is because if you think about it, right? Cooper Flag's playing in the generation of one and done, right? Larry Bird played 3 years of college basketball. He built a full resume. Cooper Flag's barely filling up the first half of the page. Now, athletically, does he look more athletic than Larry Bird did? Sure. It's 2025 compared to 1978 or 1975 or whatever it was. He should look more athletic. But can he shoot the ball as good as Larry? No. Can he rebound as good as Larry? Maybe. Can he defend as good as Larry? Don't think so.
I don't even think he could pass as good as Larry.
That's what I mean. Like, so don't get me wrong. Do I think the kid has the opportunity to be a potential generational talent in the NBA? Yes. Do I think the kid is the best basketball player in college basketball today? Yes. Do I think if you go back over the last 10 years, is he arguably the best white guy playing college basketball? Sure. But it doesn't make him Larry Bird. That to me is all I'm saying. Like, it's great what he's done so far, but Larry's called Larry Legend for a reason.
So I think what we want to say is to all those people out there that make that comparison,
stop it. Get some help.
Yeah, no, I would 100% concur with that statement, my friend.
Well, that being said, I think we're going to move off of basketball now, get to our next topic. Another one that's causing a lot of controversy lately, I can't remember if we touched on it last week or not, but the torpedo bat issue in baseball, which to me, when I first heard about it, heard the Yankees were using it, blew up this past weekend, where they had a record-setting amount of home runs. I think 15 home runs in the first 3 games or 17 home runs in the first 4 games, something stupid like that. They've absolutely been tearing the cover off the ball. Did lose last night, so 3-1 on the season after sweeping the Brewers. But everybody started taking notice that the Yankees were using a different bat, or some of the players, not everybody. Aaron Judge does not use it, apparently. Jazz Chisholm does. Other players do. Volpe does. A couple of players do. They switched to a torpedo, what they're calling a torpedo-style bat, which just means that they had a physicist come in, determine that, well, the way a bat is shaped, it's not exactly, perfectly made. So what they did is they decided that, well, we can take some of the wood from like the end of the bat and move it more towards like the sweet spot of the bat where you would normally hit the ball off the barrel, and that'll give you a bigger sweet spot to hit from. And so the way the bat's shaped, it kind of looks like a torpedo where it starts thin at the handle, then gets thicker, and then gets a little bit thinner back at the nose again, up at the top of the bat. So with this style, again, guys are tearing the cover off the ball. And for a while, for the first weekend, I thought it was only a Yankee thing. They were like, oh, yeah, the Yankees brought in a physicist. They did some things. They changed the bat, blah, blah. Come to find out, other teams have been using this. This isn't new. This isn't even new technology, apparently. Like, other teams, I think, started maybe using it last year. Francisco Lindor used it all weekend and went 0 for 11. I think he's done better since the weekend, but went 0 for 11 over the weekend using that bat. So it's not like other players aren't using it. Some players having more success with it than others. But where I go is you've changed the bat, yes, but it's not any thicker than it should be. Like, it's still within all of the legal parameters of Major League Baseball and the way they look at the bats and analyze the bats. It's still within all the measurements, still within, it doesn't change the length, it doesn't change the actual like mass or size, like, so the same, they just changed where the wood was on the bat, in a way. So to me, I don't have a problem with it because you didn't necessarily, you altered it, but you didn't enhance it. You didn't add to it. You just took what was there and moved it around. You know what I mean? So to me, I'm okay with that. I don't know, as somebody who's not as big into baseball, you hear about this new style bat, you hear about all the controversy behind it. Are you for it? Are you against it? Do you care at all? I'm going to throw it to you because I got to know, as a casual, what do you think?
Well, look, full transparency, do I care? No. But I do have an opinion, so I'm sure that makes you happier after that statement. So I look at it like this, right? In sports, since competition has been a thing, so basically the creation of man, when you compete, you always look for an advantage, preferably one within the rules. Well, they stayed within the rules. They found what could be considered an advantage, but they're not doing anything that breaks the rules, and they're doing something every other team in the league can do as well. So to me, making a big deal about this is just being mad your team didn't think of it first or your team didn't do it first. That to me is what you're actually upset about. That is how I look at this. Like, you're really actually just more upset your team isn't doing it or didn't do it first. But guess what? You can change that. You can go back. And you could do it. Nobody's stopping you. So I don't have any problem with it at all. I think it's literally the concept of sports. You are always looking for an advantage over your opponent while trying to stay within the rules. Well, from what I hear and what I've been told, that's exactly what the Yankees are doing. So why are we going to be mad at them for it outside of the fact that you didn't do it first?
I agree. And that's where, to me, I'm glad you took that stance, because it's the way it should be. Again, why, like, it's out there for everybody to use. It's not like they're doing something that is nefarious it's not cheating. It's completely legal within the rules. And if you're going to cry about it, don't cry about it. Find a way to beat it. Find a way to pitch about, find a different way to pitch to it. Find what, there's things that can happen, It's like any other sport. It's like football or anything else. When there's a rule change, it's either going to help the offense or help the defense most of the time. And it's on the other side to figure out a way to stop it or a way to get around it. And if they can't find a way around it, that's not your fault. Like, that's not, that's not you. Like, you do you. Like, you're staying within the rules. It's on them to figure a way out to beat it. If you can't beat them, join them, like they say. But, some people don't have that mentality, I guess.
No, and I can understand not having that mentality, but when it's all said and done, whether you have that mentality or not, once again, they're falling within the rule book.
Yep.
They're doing what they're allowed to do. It's on you to adjust or adapt and basically do the same thing. And guess what? If you do the same thing, now it's boiling down to whose hitters have better hand-eye coordination that night. All right, whose pitcher is throwing a better ball? I mean, you can easily even out the playing field without too much effort. So why spend the time complaining when you could actually spend the time adjusting and doing what you need to do?
Exactly. And again, I guess some people would rather just complain, though. Some people would rather just go, wah, and not really do anything about it than actually get involved and figure out a way to, be better themselves, because again, where there's a will, there's a way. Where if one side's doing something, but there's an opposite, counter to it, and you just have to figure out what it is. So, but these Torpedo bats, they've taken baseball by storm, and I'll be interested to see if it starts affecting other levels of the game. I want to see if I start seeing these bats used on like a youth level or used on college levels and some. Now I know that they still use metal bats in a lot of those other leagues, but I wonder if they're going to start maybe changing the shape of those as well. Because if you can move where the wood is, I'm sure you can find a way to move where the metal is too. So I wonder if you're going to start seeing that trend in the minors. Well, obviously you're seeing it in the minors, but I mean with college, high school, and even youth level.
Well, I think about it. To me, metal is probably even easier to move around and adjust than the wood is, because you got to cut the wood, right? Metal, you really kind of just mold it.
Yeah.
So metal is probably going to be even easier for them to make an adjustment to. But look, like they say, right? Chicks dig the long ball. I mean, I was out for Amanda's friend's 50th birthday on Saturday, and we were at Shaky Jake's, I think it's called, in Stanhope.
Yep. I played darts
so we were
there
at
before.
Shaky Jake's, and they had the Yankee game on, and I look over, I'm like, wait, am I seeing that correctly? Is it 20-7? Is that a baseball game or a football game? What the hell am I looking at?
Yeah,
So,
Judge had 3 home runs that game. I think he's got like 4 in 4 games this year. It's something stupid like that. absolutely mashing, and he doesn't even use the Torpedo bat. But yeah, no, everybody's been hitting with it. Everybody, yeah, it was a home run barrage that day.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was like, is there a mercy rule in professional baseball? Like, Jesus.
There should have been. But yeah, Yanks actually losing 4-0 right now. Just checking the quick scoreboard. But yeah, no, I just find these bats interesting. I wonder if they're going to continue to be a storyline throughout the season, and just need to bring that up because again, as somebody, as you know, as you say, you're a casual fan. I want to know how it affected the casual fan, and I think you gave us a really great perspective on that. So, thank you, sir. And with that said, we really only got one more thing to really hit tonight, unless you got some stuff. I know we're getting close on the NHL season. I know we're getting close on the basketball, the end of the NBA as well. When those are really like playoffs and we start getting the matchups together, we'll start talking those more like next week and the week after, and I'm sure in the next month or two, that'll be most of what we talk about is playoffs, which is great. But until then, a little bit of NFL news that I thought was very interesting. And I just couldn't believe that it was even really a thought. And I got to get your thought. But apparently there are some teams that the players want to get involved in, I guess, in the Olympics. Now, you can correct me if I'm wrong, the Olympics. I'm going to look it up myself. But are going to have flag football next in 2028, correct?
Yeah, I believe the Summer Olympics are going to have flag football, yeah.
Okay. Well, then, yeah. So the NFL players want to play. They want to play in the Olympic debut at the 2028 Summer Games in Los Angeles with both men. Well, obviously just the men because there aren't any women in the NFL. But on the men's side, the men want to play. And I got to be honest, I have a problem with this. I shouldn't, because it should be like the 92 dream team that we put out there and we just run and absolutely kill every team out there. But to me, it's no fun that way. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't, as much as I'm America and I would listen, I would totally be there for the domination. I just think it would be a little unfair. Like, we get this sport involved in the Olympics, obviously because the U.S. wants more football involved worldwide. So they found a way to jam this into the Olympics. But I think the way to take the rest of the world out of it would be to have our professionals play. I'm not saying college kids can't play. I'm not saying that we can't have the best of our youth getting in there and mixing it up and winning gold for us. But I don't know. I look at it and I think that it would be an absolute mashing of epic proportions, and it would be a one-and-done Olympic event, much like breakdancing. It would be that kind of joke. Like, it would be like, why even watch the game? You're playing the USA. Like, there's no team in the world that could possibly compete with our guys that are professionals. That's just my opinion.
NFL teams literally give an exempted roster spot on all 32 teams for a player from a different country. So, like, they didn't play college football. They weren't like some, guy that came to a training camp. They go to other countries and these teams hear about these guys and they go put them through drills and they give them a chance in training camp and they have the ability to earn a roster spot. It might be practice squad. It might not be the actual game day roster. It might be practice squad where they get an exempted spot. But, like, if they see a future with the guy, they can give him a spot. There's no way you're going to take an American flag football team of professional NFL players. I mean, you take half the quarterbacks in the league would just pick these guys apart because their wide receivers would be. I mean, me and you could basically play quarterback with how wide open the wide receivers would get.
That's what I mean. It's unfair. Like, it would, like, it's borderline a crime. Like, it would just be the U.S. stealing a gold medal. Like, and don't get me wrong, I'm all for winning all of the gold medals. Give us all of them. But to me, this is just like this is a way to make it one and done, because I just don't think that enough people are going to actually get involved and care enough to where if you used amateurs and you gave these other countries what they thought was a fighting chance, because to be honest, our college kids are still going to wipe the floor with them, because again, this is our sport. We play it. Nobody else does. Like you said, you go out and you pick one player from around the world. Most of the time it's a rugby guy from Australia or something, you're getting those kind of guys. Like, so yeah, they got a little bit of like toughness, and yeah, they might fit in as a running back or a tight end or something else, but there aren't enough of those guys in the league to even make their own team if they were playing flag football. There aren't enough talented guys there from around the world if you put a world team together that could beat the U.S. team. So to have this as a sport to me in the Olympics is just a little bit unfair. And like that's where, to me, as much as I would want to see it in the future, and as much as I love it, and I would love to see us dominate at it, this to me just feels unfair. Like it feels like it's just our gold medal. Like just give it to us. Like just everybody else, you go play, and we'll just sit here with our gold medal. I don't know.
We'll play the winner.
And I mean, it's clearly not for the money they're going to get for the Olympics, like, because the athletes don't get paid that much. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I don't understand the draw for a professional player to want to do this, because it's not like it's even really a real football game. It's a flag football game, so it's a little bit different, a lot less contact. Can you give me any reason why a player would really want to do this? I mean, do they just have that much American pride, man, that they just got to get in this football game, like that they got to do it for America, or like what's the motivation?
I honestly don't think it has anything to do with America. I think it's the fact these guys want to be able to say they won a gold medal. That's really all I think it is.
Yeah, maybe. I guess. Some of these guys, Tyreek Hill, you want a gold medal, just go run track. You're fastest guy out there. Go win it. Like, I don't know. There's other ways some of these guys could get some gold medals. Some of them have gold medals, I'm sure of it. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And then the fact that the NFL is trying to start a flag football league too, with men's and women's pro flag football. Who's going to really play in this? Because they have 10 groups who have submitted bids to the NFL as investors for this. But what kind of talent? Because if you have your talent playing in the NFL, what kind of talent do you really have playing in the flag football league? Because, I mean, is it going to almost be like a retirement league? That, okay, well, a guy like Aaron Rodgers who really can't hit, really can't run, you might as well just put him in flag football now and surround him with some guys and let him throw the ball around, let everybody ooh and ah. Like, is that what you're looking to do? Like, is this a retirement party place, or is this like is this a way to make it more worldwide? Because now you don't need the pads and stuff, but you still need the rest of it. You still need the lines. You still need the field. You still need the goal post. You still need the rest of it. So, like, I'm just trying to figure out. I know they're trying to make this a more global sport. Help me understand how this gets them there.
Yeah, I mean, I think flag football for teenagers and young adults is becoming a big thing in our country, because parents want their kids to play football, but they don't want them taking all the hits and the beatings on their body and all that. So, I mean, it is getting bigger in our country, but like, I don't see how it's, I don't know anything about its impact internationally. I mean, maybe they do have flag football leagues out there, but if they do, I've never seen videos, heard of it, or anything else. So
do you expect this flag football league to be successful? Do you think that this flag football league could succeed where the USFL, the XFL, all these other leagues have come and gone that just can't grasp the American public and attention, because everybody loves football. Everybody loves college football. Everybody loves the NFL. I've yet to meet anybody who loves the USFL or loves the XFL or loves. Are people going to love this? Is this going to be successful for the NFL? Because to me, I honestly think it's much like those other things that maybe if they treat it, the fact that they're trying to make it pro rather than they're just trying to, like you said, make it recreational, make it so that every city or every place has a flag football league, that you could play in for teenagers or young adults or whatever, for older people if you want to, whatever. I would understand that more. Trying to make this a pro league to me is where I think that they're going to fall flat on their faces, because I just don't think there are enough women playing football. Maybe I'm completely wrong about that, but I don't think there's enough women out there actually playing. There's a few women playing, and by all means, all power to them. Keep playing. But I don't know if there's enough of them to start their own league. And as far as the men go, the talents in the NFL, I don't know what kind of talent you're going to have here. What's my draw to really watch it? And again, you're not going to have the superstars playing in it because the contracts mean too much in the actual NFL. What do you do here? Because I can't see this being successful. I see it falling by the wayside, much as the USFL, the XFL, all the other FLs out there. I just think this is going to be another FL failure.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think if they're trying to make it a professional league where you're looking for, TV ratings, then they're screwed. But the way they're doing it right now is working. I mean, they have the youth leagues, they have adult leagues, but like, if you're trying to put it on a national stage, like, I don't know. Would I try it out? Of course. Why not watch a whole bunch of people that, they're not going to ever make an NFL team, but maybe they have the potential to make a flag football team and they're athletic and fun to watch. I'd try it. I don't think I'd be committed to it. I don't think I'd make sure every, Saturday afternoon or Thursday afternoon or whatever, I'd sit down to watch it. But I mean, as a way to let people play football that, either the parents don't want their kids getting beat up and hit, or, you had one too many injuries playing football, but you can handle non-contact. Like, by all means, do your thing. On the Olympic end of things, I don't see how any country puts together a team that could compete with whatever type of team we could put together here in the U.S. I don't see. So, yeah, it could fall by the wayside real quick when it comes down to an Olympic sport.
I agree. And then I'm going to give you this little. We haven't played this in a while, but I'm going to play this.
Knuckleheaded News of the Week.
The last thing I want to bring up with you is a story I happened to see today. And I got to get your thoughts on it because we've been talking about it for the last, 6-7 months at least. But it's Micah Parsons, and are the Cowboys going to re-sign him? And there is news out there now that Jerry Jones says that they agree on most issues for a new deal. What the hell does that mean? Because it didn't say a deal was there. It just says they agree on most issues for a new deal. What do you make of that? Apparently they did meet. Jones called Parsons from Abu Dhabi. They set up a meeting. They've met for 5 or 6 hours in the owner's office. But again, no deal's been signed. Are you expecting a Micah Parsons signing soon? Or is Jerry Jones just kind of lying to us? Just kind of trying to quiet the crowd?
The real issue is the fact that Jerry's only talking to Micah. They haven't even spoken with his agent, and NFLPA rules dictate that a contract has to be finalized between an agent and an owner. The only way a player can negotiate his own contract is if he has himself listed as his own agent. So it's whatever.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, whatever Jerry says is bullshit. He's just blowing smoke. He's getting his clicks, his media attention, all that crap. Is that there's one thing you do got to give the guy, he's a great businessman. He's a terrible general manager, but he's a great businessman.
So the quote is, most of the issues we are in agreement on. We discussed it all. Jones said Tuesday during a break in the NFL's annual meeting at the Breakers Resort. But obviously we don't have an agreement relative to the new contract. Jones mentioned the length of the deal, guaranteed money, and overall money is worked out. But if it's worked out, then where's the contract? And maybe it's because they didn't meet with his agent yet to go over it. I don't know. But I can't imagine that. The finer details are left to the Cowboys executive vice president, Stephen Jones, and Parsons agent, David Mulcahy.
Yeah. And nothing. This means zero, zilch, nada.
So you don't have any faith that he'll be signing before Easter?
No. Not at all. To me, he signs either right before training camp, during training camp, or like Jerry and Stephen Jones did with Dak Prescott, like the opening Sunday of football.
Yeah, Parsons apparently took to social media and said, "I will not be doing any deal without my agent, David Mulcahy, involved. Like anyone with good sense, I hired experts for a reason. There's no one I trust more when it comes to negotiating contracts than David. There will be no backdoors in this contract negotiation."
Yeah, Jerry's just blowing smoke and getting clicks. That's it.
All right. Well, listen, that's why I came to you, because for a second there, I was getting excited for you, thinking this Parsons deal could be getting done. And, it doesn't sound like you're feeling that way, so I feel bad for you, my friend. But again, you know Jerry Jones better than I do, so I had to bring it to you. And
he'll write the check at some point, but it's not going to be soon.
Yeah, I guess he's set to plan his fifth-year option, so they do have him this year. And they could use the franchise tag on him in 2026 if they wanted.
That they could, and they could do it again in 2027.
I don't think it happens, so I think they get a deal done.
I do too. It's cheaper if they do.
Oh, yeah. 2 years from now, it's going to be a more expensive contract. So,
exactly.
Or even a year from now. So you get it done now, get it done while you can. But yeah, speaking of getting it done, we got it done, my friend. And nice, succinct, like 45 minutes too. It was nice.
I gotta say, our transitions into the end of our shows are really good. You tend to nail them every time. That was really well done there, my friend.
I try. We're getting a little better each and every time. More and more improvements are going to come throughout the year. But until then, though, thank you, everybody who has followed along with us so far tonight. Like, subscribe, follow, share, do all those free fun things for us on YouTube at Die on This Hill, on Facebook at Die on This Hill. You can follow our fourth unofficial co-host, Mr. Louis Aussie Dude, on Instagram at Louis Aussie Dude. You can follow me on X at The Living Legend. And Dave, why don't you tell them where they can find you? And let's wrap up and enjoy a good weekend of sports. As we got the Final Fours, we got baseball, we got basketball and hockey wrapping up. We got so much going on. Let's get out of here and go watch.
Let's do it. David Hastings, 23 on Twitter, now known as X, and D Hastings 23 on Instagram. There you go. I got it. I'm good. I got it.
Give him the D. D Hastings.
Just for you, my friend. Just for
I
you.
always appreciate it.
Until next time, don't be afraid to have an opinion. Die on that hill with us. Boom!
Oh.